Not gonna lie, I was so pissed off about this. Yesterday, I got into a frenzy making videos about the new OpenAI ChatGPT announcements. ChatGPT, if you don't know, it's doing 12 days of releases. Every day, a new release. And yesterday was ChatGPT Pro at $200 a month, their new high tier, and a new O1 version. I'm going to talk about how I made a pretty viral video about this later on in the podcast, but I want to share what happened. So I get into a frenzy making these videos. And my first video, I was talking about the 12 days. I shared OpenAI is doing this crazy 12-day marketing thing. Second video, oh my God, ChatGPT Pro at $200 a month and new O1. Third video, I realized, the real thing is that they are announcing a tier that's $200 a month. So I make a video and my hook is ChatGPT is now going to cost $200 a month. And then the next line, because I didn't want it to be too much of a bait and switch, the next line is, that is if you want the pro version. Make that video. It immediately starts going viral. Now it's like at 1 million views. And here's what happens. 3 hours later, the top AI person on TikTok and Instagram, the top AI influencer who follows me, I follow him. 3 hours later, he comes out with a video of his own, and he took my hook. And he goes, ChatGPT is now going to cost $200 a month if you want the pro version. He took exactly my hook. And so this episode of the podcast is about, should you steal? I'm going to share experiences where I have been stolen from, ideas that is, not money, ideas, don't steal money. I'm going to share experiences where people have taken ideas, copy, scripts, graphics from me and my teams. And then I'm going to share times where I did this, where I kind of did that, not as intensely as other people did to me, but where I definitely did it and it worked out. And that's what I'm going to share. And so should you steal? I was listening to actually a podcast with MrBeast today, and MrBeast is like, yeah, totally steal creatively. MrBeast actually, he has this $1 versus $1 versus the most expensive version of its series that he does. $1 flight versus $1 million flight. I think it's called one versus 1 million. I think that's what it's called. He got that from BuzzFeed, and he says it. He says it on his podcast. He's like, yeah, BuzzFeed did really well, so I did it. So this guy stole my hook. My video going viral. 3 hours later, he's like, wow, that video performed really well. I'm the AI guy. I'm going to take that hook. And he used it. And actually, my video is still doing better because I did a better job delivering the hook because it was authentic when I gave it, because I came up with it on the spot. But let's look at a really famous entrepreneur. Mark Zuckerberg took threads from Twitter, took stories from Snapchat. He's taken tons of features from tons of other places. Stories on Instagram, I use them every day. Super popular, crazy popular feature. And he took it from Snapchat. Threads, not as popular, but everyone knows Elon bought Twitter, and then Mark Zuckerberg came out with Threads and then posted, actually it was brilliant what he did. He posted on Twitter, the Spider-Man meme, the two Spider-Mans pointing at each other. That was hilarious when he did that. All right, here's a crazy story. I don't know if I've ever shared this to the level that I'm going to share it right now. On a recent episode, I talked about how me and my friends, we made the first play to earn game in crypto, like the first video game in crypto where people could level up, battle. There was real game mechanics, and then sell their monsters and actually get crypto for their monsters. And we made this game. It was the first one to do that. We were the first people to do that. We pretty much invented this genre called play to earn. Within the first 48 hours, I think it made $500,000. By the end of the month, it had made $1 million. And then I think it was 2 weeks after we released our game, these guys, and I'm not going to name them. If you're deep into crypto and you've been in crypto for a long time, you might know who they are, but I'm not going to name them. These two guys, they took all of the copy that we had on our landing page, didn't change it at all. They took the exact style and graphics on our landing page, didn't change it at all. All the CSS, didn't change it at all. The only thing that they changed was we had monsters in our game. They took all of our monsters and just replaced them with robots. That's all. And it was crudely drawn robots because we had a great artist. They just got some really bad artists. They just stole everything. And the only thing, literally the only thing that they changed the name of their game to have robots in it. And then they replaced the monsters with robots. The copy stayed the same. The mechanics stayed the same. The The way that the site looked stayed the same. Everything else stayed the same. And what happened was I didn't know how to do marketing to the level that I know now back in January 2018 when this happened. And so what they were doing is they were manipulating Reddit, and they were manipulating the ETH Trader subreddit of reddit.com, the ETH Trader. I don't know if you say ETH or ETH, the Ethereum Trader subreddit. And so they were pumping their game on the subreddit and buying upvotes for it. And so their game, it didn't do as well as ours, but it did pretty well. But then what they did, this is how they flipped it. They went to Coinbase, and they went to Coinbase Ventures, and they said, hey, Coinbase Ventures, we made this game. Look how well it did, because they were buying upvotes on Reddit. They said, look how well it did. Why don't you invest in us? And Coinbase invested $2 million in them. They used that $2 million. The first game, the robot game, it failed miserably. And so the people who invested in that, they all lost everything. But what they did is they made a new game. And if I said what the new game is and you're in crypto, you would know it, because it was one of the biggest games. It probably made them both 100 millionaires from this. And they made this new game super successful, used the money from Coinbase Ventures to make that game, and gave the people who lost stuff in the robot game, they gave them assets in that new game. They stole, and they did very well. But it started with thievery. We were all pretty pissed at that time. One of my co-founders said to me, he's like, real recognize real. He's like, look, we have a history of making unique stuff that does well. This is part of life. And he's right. We all did fine. After that, we all made crazy stuff after that. Like this AI guy took my hook. So what? I'm going to make more viral videos, and I'm going to continue to grow. But that's the reality. And so I think it's important to actually talk about this stuff. Not many people are willing to share this stuff. So I'm going to share stuff that I did now, because I'm certainly not innocent. This one I don't mind sharing because I'm friends with the guy that I took it from. Back when I started on TikTok, I didn't cite my sources like I do now. I just didn't care, and I didn't know that I was going to grow into somebody. Like, I didn't know any of this stuff. So when I started my TikTok, I would just share whatever, and oftentimes I wouldn't cite sources. When Silicon Valley Bank was going under, I said, this is the most talked about news in my industry and technology, and lots of marketers are paying attention to this. I'm going to go all in talking about this for the next few days. I was making video after video after video, and then there was this one tweet that was doing really, really well on Twitter. I think it was still Twitter at the time. And this guy, Pietro Schirano, now we talk, and I've pumped his products. I've literally made his AI product go viral for him just for free. So we're even, is basically what I'm saying. I made it go really viral 2 times. And he put up this tweet, and he's like, I asked Bing's AI to explain the Silicon Valley Bank collapse in monkey banana terms. And then this was the output. And so it's brilliant. And it went viral on Twitter. And so then I start my video with some guy on Twitter asked Bing's AI to describe the Silicon Valley Bank collapse in monkey banana terms. This is what it said. I'm going to read it to you. And I read it. And that video's gotten like tens of millions of views. And I never credited Pietro Schirano, never credited him. And he was really cool about it. He made a video quoting me, and he's like, I'm that guy. Here's how I did it. We became friends from that. Now I cite my sources, though. Now I at people in the descriptions, in the comments. Now I cite my sources. But that was an example. I stole, I'd like to think creatively on it. And something else that I've noticed is oftentimes and I've shared this before, if you see a tweet or a post on X in your niche that is going viral and you read it on a video, all you have to do is read it. There's a good chance it's going to go viral again. My co-founder sent me a picture from Google ads, from Google search ads, and it was a personal injury law firm. Their title for the ad was, clicks cost $200, call this number instead. Because the CPC for personal injury law ads is like $200. So they're like, call this number instead. And they did that to get around having to pay $200 CPCs. That image, that on X got 100,000 views. I shared that on my TikTok and Instagram. My share of it has like 3.5 million views. If you have something in your niche that is going viral on X and you make videos, make a video about that, because it's probably going to go viral again. That's creative stealing. I'd like to think that's creative stealing. And also I cited the person. I make lots of my own original stuff, like the one that is going viral about ChatGPT Pro, all original. And then sometimes I find something on X that's going super viral. It's in my niche. I'm going to share that because I know that it's going to do really well. MrBeast, he sees an idea that's going super well and he's like, let me remix this. He does that too. Creative stealing. Should you steal? I'm not going to tell you whether you should steal or not, but I am sharing the ways that people have stolen successfully. I want to actually share one more thing, and it's what happened, because I think this was really a really interesting experience. It's what happened with this viral video about ChatGPT Pro. It's just as I'm talking, it's getting thousands, tens of thousands of views. I made that, and before I made it, I was texting my friends, oh, I got to make a video today. I have no idea what I'm going to talk about. And I texted actually my friend Brett, who was on this podcast. I'm like, this is one of those days where I just don't feel like making a video, but I'm going to do it anyway. And I always do it anyway. Yeah, I'm at 767 days in a row now of making videos. So I always do it anyway, but yesterday was one of those days where I didn't want to do it. While I was complaining to my friends that I had to make a video, I thought it was really interesting that OpenAI was doing this marketing thing where they are making 12 announcements in 12 days in a row. And I shared that with my friends. And then I realized there's a principle that I like to go by. If something is interesting enough in your niche that you're going to share it with your friends and you make content about that. And so that's what I did. That was my video. The same thing that I shared with my friends, I made a video about it. Wow, OpenAI, 12 days of announcements, cool. But then what happened is once I made that first video, my mind opened up to more videos I could make. And what started yesterday with me not wanting to make a video, me not knowing what I'm going to make a video about, me being like, oh, I'm not going to be able to make content today, it's probably going to suck, ended up with me making 4 videos and one of them going pretty viral. Because I made that first one, I got in the zone, ChatGPT dropped their announcement, I made that second one. Then after the second one, I'm like, oh my God, the hook for this can be better. I'm going to do it again with a better hook. Right after that second one, I do the third one with the better hook and the third one goes viral. And then I did a fourth one and the fourth one was about SEO. And the SEO one didn't do as well as the other ones, but it was still just more content that I was pumping it out and I was feeling good and it was so easy and so fast. I was making these things so fast. And then 1 out of the 4 goes viral. I think that's cool. When Compact Keywords comes out, oh, I'm so hyped for this because when Compact Keywords comes out, I'm going to have a Compact Keywords hat and a Compact Keywords shirt. And so when events are trending in technology, business, marketing, whatever it is, when I'm reading a viral tweet, I'm going to be wearing my Compact Keywords merch that has Compact Keywords on it. And then I'm going to be basically newsjacking and using viral news to get people to be reminded about my product. And I'm really excited about that. Really excited. So anyway, I thought these were a bunch of cool stories about stealing, creative stealing, some less creative than others. I think when the people literally took our copy and our creative and our CSS and the exact way that our site and game looked, that wasn't as cool, but learn from it. And we learned a lot from it. And so I hope you learned from this episode of the podcast too. And this is episode 520 days in a row doing this podcast, 767 days in a row making a video for TikTok and Instagram every day. Crazy. You learn so much when you do something every day. Anyway, I'm feeling pretty good. I hope you're feeling pretty good too. If you watched this on YouTube, thanks for watching. If you listen to this on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, thanks for listening. I have a delicious cup of coffee next to me. I'm going to finish drinking it. I'm going to have a great day. And you're going to have, you know what? I don't know who you are or where you are, but I'm going to tell you something. You're going to have a great day too. I will talk to you again tomorrow. Bye now.